This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I am live, jumping on live for a minute with you guys. See who shows up, see what we got. We got one on the chat. We will let it load. And let's talk some boxing news. What's going on in the sport of boxing? From everything from welterweight, lightweight, super, middleweight, and heavyweight. That's what we have. And I'm going to get a nice little workout in, you know, as we begin. You know I got to drop those bars. When you guys come in, hit that like button. Christopher, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Christopher in the building. When you guys come in, hit that like button. I'm going to try to go hard this week, try to get a good workout in, at least 3 more sessions, because next week I won't be able to do shit at all because I'm having surgery. Smooth Will, just checking in, brother Kurt, peace always. Smooth Will, peace and blessings to you, brother. JJ Cottle, 707, what's good, Big Kurt? Man, everything's good. The sun's going down, which is always a good thing, because I don't know if you guys know, I'm in Texas, okay? All right? And they have record-breaking heat. So for everybody from the East Coast that's not anywhere down south, that's in Philly, New York, or even in the Carolinas, I don't think you guys know what this type of heat's like. It's hell. You know, so the sun's going down. I'm letting the beard grow on out. You know, everybody like, man, you look scraggly. Well, this is how I look in between. Bobby Collins, salute Kurt in the chat. Smash that like button. Bobby Collins, what's up, brother? Shout out to Bobby. Listen to Bobby. Let's hit that like button. We got 12 people in here. Let's talk some boxing, man. You know, it's, you know, we got Lotta wanting to come from 160. Matter of fact, I just did a video about them. And, there we go. Cool. Some rando. Let's go. SJ, you've got the best boxing channel on YouTube. SJ, thank you, brother. Thank you. You know, I stay busy, man. I believe in getting content out in different variations, different from different fighters, different stories, different matchups, different desired matchups, fantasy matchups. Why not? And I look at boxing now as a big fantasy request. You know, this is the fantasy era because nobody's really fighting. You know, like we have Usyk and Joshua this month. It's August 1st. First off, you guys, if you don't know, that my prediction is going to be on members only weeks before it comes out. You know, so I'll have it at least a week before I release it to the general public. So if you guys want to hear that breakdown of who I think will win between Usyk and Joshua, you got to become a member. And while I got you guys here, man, I got some big news. We're going to do some collabs with like Showbiz the Adult. You know, Ellie Setback reporting. Henry Cejudo. Mike Tyson. Okay, so we got a lot concerning relevant on the fight card. Okay, so any of you guys want me to do or would like to see more content of live, you got to go over there. So download Relevant, the app, and I will show you guys actually what it looks like. Okay, this is the app, Relevant, right here. Okay, so when you download that app, it's at the App Store. Come on over, find my chat. Okay, you know, look up Counterpunch Boxing News, add yourself, different chats, and we will be there live to have some awesome content. Okay, awesome content. You know, and it's like Patreon, but you don't have to pay. You know what I mean? Victor, great job, bro. Appreciate you. Air Zism. Kurt, Counterpunch, all love, big man. Hope you're good. Man, everything's good, man. Everything's good. I'm just a little hot, but this is Texas, so go figure. What's the difference between the silver and gold memberships? Well, the gold membership, it has content on there exclusively for that. Like I got some stuff on there that only gold members have, you know. So then the silver is, you know, the, like intermediate. The gold is the bold. You should get a taco hat for your collab with Showbiz. Nah, I think not. I think that's his patent. He does that for Taco Tuesday, though. So he has a Taco Tuesday chat, which is today. And that's what he had. With the latest development, Fake Paul wants to fight the Iranian Hulk. Man, look, Jake Paul, I think, and let's talk about Jake Paul for a minute, okay? Thomas Magani, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you, Thomas. Hey, Kurt, been hearing people say Adam should retire. I don't think 3 losses defines a whole career. You think he should retire? Adam Kalnaki, we're going to get to Adam Kalnaki. Let me counterpunch Jake Paul real quick, right? Him and the man with the wrench is in the building. First off, Jake Paul, he really had me fooled. He really had me thinking that he wanted to fight these boxers. I think he realized that, yo, I can't fight these guys because once I fight a real boxer and they beat me, that whole buzz of him wanting to be a boxer or people coming to him, it'll cripple his whole foundation. See, if his foundation is to get people in the ring and knock them senseless, and then he doesn't or he can't do that, people are going to look at him crazy. Okay, and especially if he gets knocked out. Because I think Jake Paul is taking the Mayweather/Tyson Fury route where they know as soon as they lose, it's over. So the whole idea is never to get in there with somebody that could possibly beat you. But the idea is to market the idea of them possibly being beaten. And Jake Paul, when he did pull that shit with Rahman Jr., I already knew. I was like, look, you fool me once, shame on you. You fool me twice, shame on me. Shame on us all, because we were believing that shit. We were believing that shit. And Jake Paul, he doesn't want to fight a real boxer because he knows as soon as he gets on that platform, on a boxing platform, and fights a real boxer, and he gets chinned, and he gets knocked out in the worst way, people are going to post that shit everywhere. He is going, they're going to go to town on him. He's going to be the laughing stock of the media, and if he knows, if all those guys are coming in from his huge platform, they already know that, hey, dude, you got knocked out. Your credibility's ruined. So that could shake his whole foundation. And he knows that. He knows, like, well, not only the boxing fans are not going to stop watching, but the people that watched me before I even started this boxing crusade will probably stop watching. So I think that's the problem with Jake Paul, people. Okay? In a nutshell. In a nutshell. Why do we not have good American cruiserweights? Most cruiserweights have went to the UFC. That's why, Keith.
A lot of peanut butter on her tongue.
You know? Jake Paul wanted to fight, but Hasim's team tried to be slick. No, I don't think they tried to be slick. I think what it is, if Jake Paul didn't want to risk that loss. Because see, if much as he proclaimed he wanted to fight, you don't cancel a fight before the deadline. You just don't do that. If you wanted that fight that bad, you don't say, hey, this is my way, take it or leave it by this certain time, and before that time, you've already told everybody that the fight's not happening. You know what I mean? If that's your prime objective to have that fight, well, why aren't you seeing to see what happens? Then you could say, you know what? We gave this man ample time. You know, I think he wanted to fight Tommy Fury, maybe. But see, Tommy Fury now is in the clear. Because now Tommy Fury can see, I told you didn't want to fight another boxer, and everybody else can too. Why? Because he hasn't fought a boxer yet. I mean, Jake Paul's great at promotions, don't get me wrong. And the money is following with him. Okay, he has the momentum. He has the following. He has the backing. But if he gets beat, you know, that's a brand. Jake Paul's a brand. Got your hat. Jake Paul is a brand, and everyone should know that. And if that brand gets affected in the way that they fear, they won't go near a real fighter. See, they probably knew that man was 215. Then they sent him another contract saying, hey, this is how it's going to be, take it or leave it. You don't do that. Because remember, guys, Hasim Rahman Jr. is a replacement. That's right, he's a replacement. What's good? Boxing Scholar haven't been getting any notifications if you're doing videos. I'll definitely after this catch up, my brother. Love your platform. At Boxing Scholar, I don't know, man. YouTube's been doing it, especially with live streams. I don't know how many of you guys got my live stream. I don't know. Evening is 1:42 a.m. in London, or is it 12:42? Yeah, it's 12:42. Why do we not get any good? We already done that. Pterodactyl coming in with those 2 pounds. What's up, brother? Appreciate that super chat donation. You know, much more would be appreciated. Thank you. But I appreciate you, though. You didn't have to do that, but you did. Thank you, brother. Is boxing starting to lose its soul? Diego, let me share something with you. If we take 1999 and we take the welterweight champions at the time, we had Trinidad and we had De La Hoya, right? And I don't even think that wasn't even for undisputed, because I know at the time you had Trinidad on the IBF, De La Hoya on the WBC or WBA. The WBO, I think, belonged to James Page, if you guys can remember him. And there was another champion by the name of Six Head Lewis, which he recently passed away. I think it was like last year. So you had all these fights, but it was just a unification, so it wasn't even undisputed. And Trinidad got $7 million. De La Hoya got 15 to 20, something like that. Now you compare that to this shit they're arguing over crumbs now. They're arguing over, hey, who gets this and who gets that. Errol Spence is making $2 million. Terrence Crawford was making $3 or $4 million guaranteed. So I hope that answers your question. Yes, it is. You got Jake Paul coming in here taking over boxing supposedly, right? So yeah, I believe so. I definitely believe that boxing is taking a hit. It's not what it used to be. Correct, Kurt. The 205 division in the UFC is where American cruiserweights went. Yeah, Daryl Alexander. That's where people went. They went to the UFC. And here's the thing, the fucking UFC don't get paid like that. They get paid like a second string semi-pro team gets paid in comparison. They don't. But there's not enough boxers out there no more. You know, they might get $1 million, 300,000-400,000. You know, I mean, they still live well, but they work their ass off in the UFC. And then they don't get nowhere near what certain fighters get. And I mean certain fighters, I mean boxers. Wish I had your email so I could email you. Jake Paul is not at fault. It's Rothman's fault. He tried to play Jake Paul and got played. He played himself. Oh, I hear you. I mean, I've seen the videos. And if Jake Paul was still willing to fight Rahman, that would be one thing, but he's not. And that's the problem I have with it. You don't cancel a whole card because of weight. You know what I mean? Like, there's no fucking championship on the line. That's just a weight that you came up with. You're telling a replacement, yo, you need to be 10 pounds plus down south where I want you to be. But he didn't tell him that, or his team that, until a couple days ago. He didn't say, hey, this is where it needs to be. What was he doing? What was Jake Paul doing? Jake Paul was selling a fight that was never going to fucking happen. That's what Jake Paul was doing. Jake Paul was selling a fight that was never going to happen. Hasim Rahman and the team said that they didn't even want the money. They were just okay with it in beating Jake at the comfortable 215. See, here's the thing. He said at a $5,000 minimum. Look, Jake Paul didn't want that fight, so Jake Paul canceled that shit. You don't give someone a deadline or ultimatum and don't even give them a chance to make that deadline. You don't give them a time frame. So when you do that before, you didn't believe or you didn't want the fight anyway. That's easy to understand. Mark Griffith coming in with that $4.49 super chat sticker. Appreciate you. Mark, you didn't have to do it, but you did. And I appreciate you, and counterpunch to you, brother. Let's see. Jake Paul canceled, so he's at fault. Yeah. See, it ain't like, this is what you guys need to understand about this scenario. Rahman is still standing there. Jake Paul's team went to Twitter without even telling Rahman that they canceled the fight. They just canceled it. They were like, you know what? We don't want to do this because of this, whatever reason. So it's off. They didn't even try to renegotiate. They didn't even try to say, okay, this shit's almost around the corner, so this is what we're going to do. Let's meet at 208. Can you meet us at 208? If you're 215, can you meet us at 208? That type of shit. No, none of that happened. They just said, you know what? Pull the plug. They pulled the plug. So if you pull, look, the person that walks away and cancels the fight didn't want the fight. That's simple. I've seen enough ducks. I've seen enough avoidance in fighters, on sides of fighters, fucking all my boxing life, basically. That's been a long time. And what happens? They didn't want that fight for whatever reason. And then one thing is apparently clear. If Jake Paul felt threatened by 215, that means he wasn't comfortable of beating him like that anyway. He talked all that shit. He sold the fight. He sold you an idea of a fight. But he didn't sell you. You could just see he wasn't comfortable enough to take that fight at 215. You see all that shit he said about Tommy Fury? Well, like, hey, I'm willing to come over here. If you take 500,000, I'll make it over there because I know everything's against me over there, so I'll come over there. Do you see this same energy in this situation? No. You just see one side canceling the fight. And the other side saying, hey, we didn't cancel anything. We still here. We didn't even know it was fucking canceled. And Rahman Jr. came up with a good point. He was like, well, if this was 10, 15 years ago, I wouldn't even know the fight was canceled. We've have still been training like everything is everything. You know? Mark Griffin, big hello from South Wales, UK. Good evening. Been a while since I've caught you live. Sorry, what's the topic? We're talking about multiple topics, Mark. Appreciate you and counterpunch to you. They're treating Paul like they do Tank. Hey, brother, from Scotland, David Moran, counterpunch to you. Skip, I mean, the guy did sign a contract, so it's his fault for not living up to the requirements. They agreed too, in my opinion. My favorite division is the light heavyweight division. Love to see Stevenson versus Bivol. You mean Superman Stevenson? I don't think that'll happen. That's definitely a fantasy fight, but let's entertain that for a minute. Stevenson's has the power. He has the height, he has the size. I mean, they're both about the same height, like 6'1". I'm thinking of Bivol, the way he applied pressure to Canelo. Could he do that with Stevenson? He could, but it would be risky because Stevenson has the Stevenson I remember has a wicked left hand. That left hand hits you. It took a lot of people out. That left hand has got Adonis Superman Stevenson out of a lot of sticky situations. Okay, so yeah, that left hand is lethal, or was lethal. So him fighting Bivol has to be careful. But Bivol's a boxer too, so he's smart. I don't think Bivol will go in and do what he did with against a taller fighter like he did a shorter fighter with Canelo. I think Bivol will box, he will be smart, and I think he will be aware of the power. Okay? Because Stevenson is a lot bigger than Canelo and everything else. Or he was. My favorite division is the light. Okay. The boxing scholar, they want Hassan drained, but his team was too experienced for that, and they figured he wouldn't cancel the fight the last minute, but he did. Well, they just didn't want him to have that edge. The boxing scholar, they didn't want him to have that edge because, see, but you have to understand, what's the fear? The fear of him losing. See, that's the whole thing. He didn't take the fight because that could mean, or that could help or aid Hassan Rahman Jr. in winning. And that's one thing Jake Paul has figured out. If I lose, I lose. I lose it all. It's like a poker game, and he knows. That's why he's like, you know what? Too rich for my blood. That's what he's doing. That's why he's doing what he's doing. Jay Rodriguez, ¿cómo estás? Todo bien, todo bien. ¿Cómo estás? Que hola. Braveheart, boxing hasn't had a soul for years, just business for too many. Braveheart, you got that right. See, you have guys like Terrence Crawford. You had guys like Roy Jones Jr. People wanted him to stop. People wanted him to shut it down because he was getting knocked out and stuff like that. You know. Pterodactyl, your videos of AJ being chinny. This is a heavyweight boxing. How do they expect him not to get rocked? No boxer is invincible. How come they don't question the chin of AJ's opponents? The criticism of AJ is unreal. Pterodactyl, once again, you didn't have to, but you did. Appreciate that 20 pounds. I would prefer pounds over dollars any day, but the currency conversion is great. The conversion is great. I love it. But that is a good counterpunch. People should ask the chin of the fighters that he knocked out. Why ain't people talking about Pulev? Pulev went 12 fucking rounds with Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora even asked AJ, what did you hit him with on FaceTime? What did you hit him with? Right? Simply because it's like this. AJ has, because we've seen different aspects of AJ, we've seen him fight differently, we think he's lost something. I see AJ being smarter. I think why he's fighting smarter is because of what happened in the past. Now, you could call that damaged or you can call that experienced. Okay? You can take your pick. But don't mean the man can't knock you out. You better ask Klitschko. You better ask Pulev. You better ask Dillian White. You better ask Alexander Povetkin. You better ask fucking Andy Ruiz. He was dropped by Joshua. You know, and that was the first time he was ever down. Anthony Joshua and Chris Arreola are the only people that ever dropped Andy Ruiz. That's why we were in shock when the 40-year-old Arreola took Andy Ruiz down on one knee. So, yeah, I mean, shit. No, he's not chinny. It's a heavyweight division. That shit could happen to anybody. I mean, anybody. So, good counterpunch, pterodactyl. Did you see that Dubois is suing Don King? Still hasn't gotten paid as expected. Jesus, the Joker, are you serious? Damn, Don King, man, he should know better than that. Because people have been looking at Don King funny for a long time. I still think Ving Rhames playing Don King is one of the best boxing-based fights based on Don King. Only in America, baby. You know what I mean? Because the shit that, he allegedly did. But no, the Joker, I did not know that. Jake Paul equals the face of boxing. Some rando. St. Don, watch your Kurt. What's up, St. Don in the building? Hit that likes, folks. Yeah, hit that likes. We got a small but loyal crew right here. The Boxing Scholar. Remember when Marcos Maidana tried the glove stuff last minute because he fought Floyd and would pull out of the fight? Yeah, I remember that shit. No, Floyd said that. But look, here's the thing. Floyd at least gave, this is the difference. Floyd gave Maidana an ultimatum. He didn't give him an ultimatum and then stop the fight. He gave him an ultimatum to see if he would abide by what he gave him an ultimatum to. Okay? He said, look, put him in there with the same gloves I have. Put him in there with these gloves or there is no fight. He didn't say, put him in there with these gloves. You know what? We cancel him. That's what Jake Paul did. That's what Jake Paul did. He didn't even give... Who does that? You know, you give somebody a certain time limit to make weight by Friday. Friday ain't here. Why would you do that if you were serious about a fight? I don't think he was serious, man. I honestly do think, I think at the end of the day, Jake Paul sold us some wolf tickets. Because see, what started happening for Jake Paul? You know, he started getting the recognition of Jose Sulaiman. Diego C. Palace. The boxing promoters on both sides of the pond need to step things up. Well, yeah. Eddie Hearn can't do it by himself. But then again, here's the problem with that. Eddie Hearn is getting too big. He's got too big to the point where he's like the next Al Heyman. Because he has money to pay these fighters. See, one thing you haven't heard about Eddie Hearn is money issues. You've heard him saying what he won't pay. He's lost some purse bids. But you haven't heard him say, hey, you know what? I never got my money from Eddie Hearn. What the fuck? You never heard that. Right? And I think he's getting big that he's got the attention of other promoters in a negative way. And what I mean by that is, why do you think Ellerby has a beef with Eddie Hearn? Why? Because Eddie Hearn's so freaking big. He's too big. See, now he's creating envy. See, these other promoters are envying him. Bob Arum, Frank Warren, you know, Leonard Ellerby. You see these guys now, they're all like, fuck Eddie Hearn, because they know Eddie Hearn is the super guy. He's the superpower. He's that super promoter. He's everywhere. He's in fucking Vegas. Then he's back in Wales. Then to the UK. Then he's in Saudi Arabia. Then he's in Mexico. Then he's back in LA or the States. Then he's in New York. Then he's back in the UK. So he's all over the place because he's expanded that much. So not only did he come over here, he's came over here and he's already over there. Prime for prime, Stevenson versus Bivol. Who taking it, Kurt? I don't know, man. Because see, you know what? I'll probably go with Bivol. You know why I go with Bivol? Because Joe Smith is a very heavy-handed fighter. He's put Sullivan Barrera down. He really retired Bernard Hopkins with the punching power that he has. Don't mess with that guy. But Bivol handled him easy. Easy work for Bivol. I know Stevenson is way better than Joe Smith. What I'm saying is, I think he has an issue. Stevenson has an issue with pressure. See, what Vosnick did to Stevenson, he pressured him. But that was the best fight I've ever seen Stevenson in. Stevenson showed, like, not only am I game, I'm showing you why I'm a fucking champion. You know, because a lot of those fights, it was just him getting beaten until he caught him with that left hand, and it was like, oh, fight's over. But with Vosnick was pressuring Stevenson because Vosnick had something to prove. Vosnick only has one loss, and that's the better beef in a hell of a fight. So I gotta go. Look, I'm going with Bivol on that. I'm going with Bivol. Stevenson's a bad boy, but Bivol, I think if he beats Bivol by knocking him out, not saying he couldn't, but if that's the only go-to, if he doesn't, I don't think he could beat Bivol like that. That you're entering the dragon, messing around with Bivol. He just is Russian. That's what happens when you're A-side, you make demands. That's true. You make demands, but yeah. But see, Floyd told him, like, yo, put him in there with me or I'm stopping the fight. But see, understand, Floyd wanted to actually fight Maidana. But can I tell you guys something? Floyd had no business fighting Marcos Maidana. He had no business fighting him at all. He had no reason to fight Maidana at all. That was no reason for that fight. That should have been Adrian Broner, rematch, redemption, okay? That's what that should have been. That should have been Adrian Broner's time to shine or Adrian Broner's time to decline. Bars. 4 weeks to go till AJ retires. Can he beat? I don't think AJ's gonna retire. I think he's too proud to retire. You know what I mean? Unless he gets hurt bad. You know what I mean? And then it's time, because it's like, yo, it ain't worth your life. You just in there with a fucking beast that actually beat you before by boxing you, and this time goes to fucking war, gets traumatized, and then beats your ass off some post-traumatic stress disorder type shit on that type of level. You know, so you know, seriously. Jake Paul rope-a-doped us. Yeah, he did. Got your hat. Usyk fighting for country. AJ in trouble. It's a lot on the line. I think that fight's going to be very interesting. Very interesting. I'm going to do the prediction tonight. I will upload it maybe around 12 o'clock for members only. But mind you, that fight's going to be better than the first. The first is kind of like it's going to be opposite of AJ Ruiz than Ruiz AJ. Okay, it's going to be the opposite, just like that, but it's going to be flipped. First fight, we had boxing, film out. Second fight, drug out. That's what we're going to have. Scance Rant. Stunt man, I don't be getting the notifications, by the way. I am the resistance. Counterpunch to you, Scance Rant in the house. Thank you for coming in, dropping in, staying. Some rando. Yeah, YouTube be tripping, man. I don't know what to tell you. They do it when they want to. Their servers, the glitches, the whatever, the algorithms, I don't know. But I think if everyone on here would hit the like button, and we had just as many likes if we did people on here, I think the algorithms would change and the notifications would go out, because a lot of times, I guess a certain amount of likes have to be activated or pressed or whatever, clicked, before they actually start saying, you know what, this is worth our time to start sending out notifications to this particular channel's subscribers, which is fucked up, by the way, because to our understanding, your subscribers are supposed to get notifications unless they didn't hit that bell. So the only thing I can tell you guys is, as far as notifications go, unlike or unsubscribe and then subscribe and then hit the bell, I think that activates something, like, you know, that app that resets their servers or whatever. But I'm not a tech guy, so I don't know. You know what I mean? That's just what I heard. SJ, Kurt, do you see Joe Joyce getting a really big fight before he retires? Shame that saying he's being avoided. Him and Wilder, or him versus Joshua, would be an awesome to watch. If Joshua loses, I see him fighting Joe Joyce. That's if Joe Joyce wants to even fight him. That's if Joe Joyce even wants to fight Joshua, because if Joshua loses and then Joyce is already in a position, why would he then, you know? Now, mind you, if Ruiz beats Luis Ortiz, then he gets the fucking leapfrog opportunity over Joe Joyce. So Joe Joyce could fight Anthony Joshua. And here's the irony. Joe Joyce fights twice beaten Anthony Joshua for a big fight, gets more money than he's ever made fighting Joshua, right? While Andy Ruiz gets an opportunity to fight for the WBC and will get less money. So chances are Ruiz, if Joshua loses, don't expect Ruiz to go in there and fight someone like Wilder for less money, because Ruiz is already spoiled, people. He's already a spoiled fucking fighter. He's got 2 Anthony Joshua checks, and that's enough to spoil anybody that's motivation is only based on money. Okay? Because that's Ruiz's motivation. Money. More money. That's why you hear him talk. I want to fight Anthony. He owes me this fight. I gave him the opportunity when I beat him. Let's see. James West, blessed by the best. Bars. Appreciate that $20 dub. Appreciate you, brother. Coming in with that 20. Kenny B hitting with that CA. $5 or 5 CA. Appreciate that love. Counterpunch to you. You didn't have to, guys, but you did. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Okay, let's hit that like button. Let's hit that like button. Let's see here. Boxing has spoiled us the last 2 years. I would argue that the promoters are doing good. I hear Fury versus Chisora 3 incoming. Who the hell wants to see that? No one. No one wants to see that shit. But it wouldn't surprise me, though. It wouldn't. Stop disrespecting the great Al Heyman. Edward John Hearn doesn't have a shot at being Al Heyman. Hearn still hasn't got a fight on the top 10 list or the highest grossing fights in history. Scance Rants. I'm not disrespecting Al Heyman. And if you do remember, who was disrespecting Al Heyman was Oscar De La Hoya, Bob Arum, those individuals. They were hating on him in the worst way. They were doing more than hating. They were Dante's Boxing Nation hating. They were sending this man to court because he put boxing on free TV. Facts. Matter of fact, I think Bob Arum and Oscar De La Hoya joined together to try to get rid of Al Heyman. When the PBC was created, that's exactly what happened. Did you hear about the spinoff Rocky and Creed movie? They're making a movie about Drago. That would be great. Well, you know, I heard Sly Stallone is not happy about that spinoff. But I thought he owned it. I thought he owned rights to the Rocky franchise. I'm not sure. He beat an old Klitschko. Wesley Gamble. You mean Anthony Joshua? Well, if he beat an old Klitschko, that meant Tyson Fury beat an old Klitschko as well. Why do I say that? Because Tyson Fury beat Klitschko in a boxing match. Not a grudge match, not a brutal, not a damaging match, but a boxing match. And a year and a half later, he fought Anthony Joshua. Okay, now mind you, 39 to 41, that was late 15, and Joshua fought him 4 months in 2017. So that was a year and a half that Joshua fought Klitschko. And for you to say Klitschko looked like he was over the hill by beating the shit out of a young guy like Joshua, knocking him down in 6 rounds, and making it to the 11th round, I beg to differ. Vladimir Klitschko looked great. And mind you, just like Adonis Superman Stevenson, that was one of the best fights, even though he lost. That was one of the best performances I've seen both of those guys fight. The fight they fought for. He fought Joshua. See, I picked Klitschko to beat Anthony Joshua. That didn't have anything to do with Tyson Fury. Okay? I picked him because I thought that Klitschko had too much experience. I thought Klitschko was just too much for Joshua. I know the stories of Klitschko used to bring them guys over there in Germany and beat the shit out of them. You guys heard them stories. Him knocking out Wilder supposedly and beating up Dillian White. Dillian White say he wouldn't beat up, but I don't believe that shit now. You know what I mean? Joshua used to bring them guys over there and beat them up. And I thought, well, you know what? He gets to beat Anthony Joshua up and get paid to do it. So you saying he was old, he didn't look old to me. Yeah, Ryan. You see, there's more talk of Parker versus Joe Joyce. Yeah, I've heard that. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but I would like to see it. You know, I would like to see Joe Joyce fight especially a former champion like Joseph Parker, the former WBO heavyweight champion. I would love to see that. You know, Joseph Parker, he's done some sketchy stuff. I remember before he actually fought Derek Sora, mind you. Like you had 2 failed. Remember, that's what called him Spidey. He said he got bit by a spider and shit like that. You know? Oh, Stevenson only 5'11"? Oh, okay. I thought he was taller than that. I thought he was like Kovalev's height. And I know Kovalev is like 6'1", right? 6, yeah. But I mean, it's 5'11". It's not like saying 5'9". So if he's 5'11", which I'm not disputing, but 5'11" is not short, and it's definitely not shorter or far from 6'1". Saying, but AJ had got a chance. Pulev turned his back in the round 3. The fight could have been over instead of 9 rounds. Well, yeah, it could have been. And you can only blame Pulev, and it shows you how hard Joshua hit this motherfucker. You hit a man, make him turn around, bow, oh! You know, that's not smart. He knows better than that. Motherfucker hit you and you turn your back on him. You think he's just not gonna hit you? Protect yourself at all times. Like Floyd, far as I'm concerned, you have to protect yourself at all times. And Victor Ortiz, he didn't protect himself. So, you know what? Won't you interview Victor Ortiz? You never give me a fair shake. You never give me a fair shake. Mark Griffin coming in with that 179-pound love. Appreciate you, man. Counterpunch to you. Chickarelli coming in for that community. Counterpunch to you, brother. Appreciate you. You guys didn't have to, but you did, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you. Scantz Branch Furies took Vlad tools away. Was always going to. I continue to see the other outcome. Hey, man, Fury did that. Look, when Fury did that, okay, Fury showed that, hey, there is hope for the heavyweight division. There is hope for it. Because And then it fucked up because we didn't see him again until like 2018. But by that time, Joshua was knocking people out. Then it was like, okay, here's Joshua. Then we had Wilder over here knocking motherfuckers out, not even hitting people. You know what I mean? Oh, down goes Malik Scott and shit. His wind is knocking people out. So we had some potential in the heavyweight division. Okay, so no, all credit goes to Tyson Fury. Don't get it twisted. You wouldn't have known Fury's skill set at the time in America. No, not really. But I know one thing. I saw that fight with my father, St. Don, and I saw a guy like Tyson Fury definitely with some character that we never seen before. I mean, who wins a fight, besides Manny Pacquiao, but no, who wins a fight and sings after the fight? And I don't want to miss a thing. Come here, girl. Come here, my wife. And he sings. Nobody done that. I was like, my dad was like, dang, look at this guy. He's singing. And my dad likes Tyson Fury. Maybe because he's Irish. Says Reggie, let's see here. St. Don, I thought Klitschko was going to chin him. Scans Rants, I thought the same thing. I thought the exact same thing. Only needed for 50 likes. Only 12 likes needed for 50 likes. Well, yeah, there you go. Get the likes up. Yeah, it doesn't take too much to knock out Malik Scott. Yeah, I see, right? You're right. I just knew Fury from fighting Cunningham dirty. I think if Otto Vailene would have busted up another fighter's eye like he did Fury, then they would have stopped the fight. Skrilla 50, that's right. That you can't argue with that. That fight should have been stopped. We know that. If Fury wasn't Fury, if they wouldn't showcasing Fury on ESPN, because that was his card, that was his fight, they would have stopped that fight. That was a regular, and they would have looked at that shit. Them doctors would be like, no, you got to cut here and you got to cut here. So you got two cuts. You know what I mean? So the question is like, damn, how do you, why would you want to take that chance? You can look at it another way and say, you know what? Fury fought this guy and he still beat this guy with the distraction of his eye. Bars, right? It's obvious they aren't sending out notifications. Only 61 people here. Yeah, it's a trip. But what happens is people look for the chat afterwards, but that's not the point, is it? The point is to be live, to interact with you guys. To let you guys know that I'm here, that I won't care what you guys have to say, and I'm answering a Q&A. Bars! Fury's eye looked worse than Vitaly Klitschko's eye against Lennox Lewis. Yeah, it did. I mean, both of those are bad. Don't get it twisted. And that eye was dripping. But again, that was a Lennox Lewis card. That was a Lennox Lewis show. I actually looked for you, Kurt. Ex-con. Where? Otto Vailene should have pushed harder for the rematch. I never get them notifications. Just luck if I click on Kurt's channel. Yeah, it's sad, man. I wish the notifications would be there. It would be a lot more. You think over 70,000 subscribers, you would have at least 12,000 people on a comparison of who really watches it and based on my overall views, which I do about 1 million views a month. So you would think the amount of people that watch these videos, you would think when you go live, you would have a lot more. So you know that they're not doing their job. Mark David Muego. Hey, Kurt, how's it going? It's going good. Just doing a little exercise and engaging. YouTube Googled you and you were live. Notifications didn't alert me. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, at least the Google knows I'm live, but then Google owns YouTube. So I think they need to handle their YouTube servers, handle their business. James West, Kurt, I'm trying to drop that half a dub on you. Coming in with that yes. Thank you, James West. Bless Baba. Best. Bars. Hit the bell and then hit it again to reset the notifications. Christopher, that's exactly what I would recommend. KSI offered again today for Jake Paul to box Tommy Fury on his undercard on August 27th. Well, you know what, Bryce? I think that fight will happen. If he fights KSI, that lets you know without a shadow of a doubt, people, that he did not, I repeat, he did not want to fight a boxer. He wants to fight on a boxing platform, but not a boxer on a boxing platform. Please select the bell and select all option. There you go, Diego C. Palace. All. Because, see, understand, this is boxing news, okay? So, like, if something happens to a boxer, if a boxer gets sick, gets in a wreck, gets shot, you know, gets married, it's going to happen. I'm going to report it. And I just don't report negative things. I like to uplift our boxing peeps and boxers because they risk their lives, you know, going into the ring. And then when you hear about a boxer that's dying outside the ring, it just gives you a better understanding to know, like, hey, these guys have dangerous lives. Their job is dangerous, but then they have to deal with everyday shit just like we do. Okay? So, there you go. Mark Griffith coming in with $1.79 on CP. Appreciate you, man. Mark Griffins, you didn't have to do it, but you did. Counterpunch to you. That's true, Kurt. No notification when you're live, just says upcoming. Yeah, that sucks, Mark. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't get it. You know what I mean? I do not get that at all. I don't understand it. It's crazy. Boxers should go and live somewhere mellow. Yeah. If I was a boxer, I would be somewhere on an island. In between times, like if it's off season, I'll be on some island somewhere chilling. Build me a house somewhere in Barbados, DR, wherever. Somewhere nice, cool, by the beach. You know, I would fish. I would make love to my woman, handle my family affairs, and just kick back, have a drink, and just chill. Then when it's time, and I know a fight's going to happen, I would leave that, fly to where I am, less comfortable, less relaxing, more on the ain'ts, and then prepare and train to get the job done, see? Whereas I know in the back of my mind, I have a place to go, win, lose, or draw. Ben Adams, Kurt, what you think of Ben Whitaker on Saturday? If you saw the fight, everyone's saying he's the next star. Man, I didn't see that, Ben, so I got to take a look at it. Ex-Con, Adam Kalnaki. Okay, Ex-Con. All right. Is he done? I think pretty much he's done. I think what he could do, though, I think he should at least fight someone to leave the sport of boxing winning. I hope and pray, because you know he got married or something like that a couple years ago. I think before he got beat by Robert Helenius, he asked publicly after his win. I think when he beat Charles Martin, I want to say, you know, he asked his girlfriend to marry him. So, you know, he has a family now. So, you know, he's probably got a bun in the oven, probably, you know, a couple kids by now, because that was a few years ago. I just hope he saves some money, you know, because, again, boxers don't have a medical, dental, retirement, 401k plan. They don't have that type of shit. You just got to take that money, be clever, be smart with it, and invest in something. Build you like a Polish restaurant or something like that. Have a business on the side, anything that's making you money. That's what you need to do. You know, because if you don't, you're going to end up like Joe Louis. Well, Joe Louis is a different situation. I'm going to do a whole backstory on Joe Louis, because I believe that people should know, and people have the right to know what happened to our boxing legends. 25 title defenses. No one has broke that to this day. Okay? So he has a great story. So I'm going to break that down as time permits. But I think he's done. As far as competition, I think somebody would hurt him. I don't like to see any boxer hurt like that to that extent. Okay? Skrilla 50. Put T.O. Sr. and Angel Garcia on the same island. Yeah, you would see probably a lot of rum, a lot of beers, a lot of a lot of that, and a lot of fucking talking back and forth. That's what you would get. What happened to the one face, one name of Deontay Wilder? TV knowledge, I have no idea. Hopefully we'll see that one face, one name, one day coming soon. But we'll see. Ben Whitaker is the future world champ for sure. Okay, we got to see Ben Whitaker. Yes, Kaunaki is done. He lost 3 straight times and his skills are declining. Yeah, and I've seen him getting tired too, Squiller. If you notice, against the bigger guy and Demarizin was bigger, and he wasn't able to push him back with those barrage of punches. He was throwing punches, but he wasn't landing those shots like we normally see him do because, you know, Adam Kaunaki was very deceiving. He was good at throwing punches. He looked like he couldn't hit you with the punches based on how he looks. Kind of like a poor man's Andy Ruiz, but the motherfucker was landing punches. But he wasn't doing that as much with Demarizin. And Demarizin was countering with the jab and was using his own jab. And he was doing that sneak left uppercut in there. It was really giving people problems. He really was. When Wilder fighting? Kenny B, I have no idea. I have no idea. They said a target date of November, but that ain't set in stone. Was Kaunaki ever good? No disrespect. No, Pterodactyl, he was. He was good. He was very good. You know, they were actually Adam Kaunaki was called before Andy Ruiz to fight Anthony Joshua when Jarrell Miller failed them damn drug tests. Or failed that one drug test with 3 different drugs. Let's get it right. And he turned it down. Now, I don't know if he decided to do that because he was an Al Heyman fighter, which that don't make sense because so was Adam Kaunaki. Andy Ruiz, he was a Heyman guy, Heymanite fighter. So I don't see how that could have mattered, right? I don't know. I have no idea. He turned that fight though. I don't know why he did it, but he did. And then he gets knocked out by Robert Helenius a couple years ago. Daryl Alexander coming in with that 10 half a dub. He says the dreaded YouTube shadow ban is a real thing. It is how YouTube stifles channels from reaching their fullest potential. I'm sure money and ad revenue has a lot to do with it. Yeah, it does. It does. It's crazy, man. Like, everybody on here, I think, first of all, download Relevant. Okay, if you guys haven't seen the app, here's the app. Me and Showbiz the Adult. Well, let me show you what it looks like. This is the app, Relevant. That's what to look for, okay? And Counterpunch Boxing News. I have it. You guys come aboard, download the app. It's the next streaming app. I'm a part of it. I'm endorsed by it. Showbiz is endorsed by it. Ellie Setback, Mike Tyson. It's basically his. He has a percentage in the particular company. So we're all going to do live streams together. Mike Tyson's going to come on, and it's going to be sweet. It's going to be sweet. He's going to come on this channel, and then he's going to, of course, be over there Relevant on his own platform. So, you know, I got a platform over there, so just join me over there, and we're going to be doing that all at one time, okay? So you guys want to see those type of interviews with Mike Tyson? What? Come on over to Relevant, download that app, okay? Some rando to this day, a lot of women on that island. Yeah, Majestic TV. Them old heads, man, I think they deserve, you know, to die with a woman on top of them. A Kevin Samuel situation, a Harpo situation. You know what I mean? Because, you know, those guys, they have trained their sons, Angel Garcia, Teofimo Lopez Sr. They have trained their sons to do exactly what they are destined to do. Now they got bread, they got money, they got investment, they got blessings. And I think they need to go on some island somewhere and talk shit, drink, all that they want to do with women involved. I think that's their happy retirement plan for investing in being good dads, stern, disciplined dads for their sons. That's what they should get as a consolation prize. Counterpunch. Kaunaki and Spilka should open a Polish restaurant together. Spilka. Yeah, that would be badass. Shield Ali, what's going on, brother? Watching from the UK. Keep up the great work. What's your view on Ben versus Eubank? Man, I think it's a super fight. I think they're trying to stretch it. I think it's a lot of historic background that people may or may not know about those guys. Uh, I think Eubank is bigger naturally than Connor Ben. You know what I mean? I've met Connor. Well, I'm bigger than all of them, but uh, Connor Ben's small. Chris Eubank's a lot bigger. So they have to make it fair. They have to make it right. Okay. Kurt, who are you? Kurt, who are your top 5 heavyweight fighters of all time? Joe Louis, Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, and Ike Barabucci. There, I said it. And I'm giving Ike a pass because of the potential that Ike could have done. Because I've seen Ike beat a lot of people. I think he might have beat Lennox Lewis. And look, and then that may change. But right off the top of my head, that's who I'm going with. Top 5. Do you watch YouTube boxing with KSI? No, I don't. Skrilla 50, the one champ, one face, one name is still happening. It just won't be Deontay Wilder. Counterpunch. Skrilla 50 coming in with that. Counterpunch. Hey, Kurt, how does Fury do in previous eras? He would be successful. I see a smaller guy beating him. You know what I mean? Like a Jack Dempsey. I see a guy that fights a guy like that. You have to fight Tyson Fury. You can't bullshit with Fury, because if you try to maintain a sense of balance and distance with Fury, Fury's going to use that shit against you because he's seen it. But if you fight him and you go at him, that's how you beat Tyson Fury. Not saying he's the best boxer, but he's one of the best boxers. And he's so good at boxing to the point he will give people fits. What do you think he did with Klitschko? He just outboxed him. Because Klitschko has to be a certain range and distance. He knew he got him. He knew he got him. Easy. Fernie Zacharias, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Kenny B, besides Wilder, who will be U.S. next best heavyweight fighter? Jared Anderson. Frank Sanchez will probably be the rival of Jared Anderson. I think they could make a great rivalry. Michael Hunter could come in and, you know, if he's still where he needs to be. I just hope Michael Hunter doesn't end up like Demetrius Andrade. You know, Demetrius a real sad case because Demetrius Andrade, dude, he's undefeated still. Nobody's beat this dude. Then he shows up all drunk and faded, begging for a fight. Chris Eubank, and Chris Eubank's like, Is it true that Dominic Brazil moved to Brazil? I have no idea, but that would be some funny shit. Brazil. TV knowledge, stop it. Adam regrets not fighting AJ now. I bet he does, Kenny B. Love to see Blazing Mike Tyson on here. Yeah. Hey, Kurt, what's your... And he's going to be on there. Man, I'm excited to interview Mike Tyson. It would be an honor. That would be a milestone, you know. Do you feel Robert Garcia will resolve AJ's mind issues ahead of the Alexander Usyk rematch? I don't know, Diego. I don't think anybody could do that except AJ. Maybe the loss will do it for AJ. Maybe AJ, you know, will be that person, because this is the opposite of how he lost. He didn't get lost. He didn't lose by getting stopped or beat just down. He lost by getting outworked and outboxed. So maybe he's like, okay, that shit don't work for this guy. So maybe I'm going to do this thing for this guy. I'm going to do this other thing. You know? All right, motherfucker, you want to play? Let's play. Ben versus Eubank Senior sum up 90s Britain. What a time to be alive. Yeah, man. A lot of people say they were good friends. They weren't always good fucking friends. I don't know where you heard that from. They may be friends now. They're older. They ain't fighting no more. The testosterone is lowered. The knowledge and the wisdom is grown. You know what I mean? Things have healed. Reputations and ego has kind of been simmered down just a bit. Right? So there you go. Chris Ciccarelli, join your relevant chat, was already on show business. Ciccarelli, thank you, brother. Everybody, do exactly what Ciccarelli did. Join, and first of all, download the relevant app, okay, and find Counterpunch Boxing News so we can have fun views from Counterpunch Boxing News. Bars. A prime Holyfield would have been a war. Been a war with who? Ben versus Eubank will be an eternal rivalry. Their grandkids will fight each other. Maybe. If boxing's still around, which I hope it is, you know. You imagine me at fucking 82. This is Kurt with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning. Kurt, can you show the new app again? Sure. Lee Foster, here's the new app. All right, look. There it is, people. There's the new app. Wait. Focus. There it is. There's a new app, right? When you click it, boom, relevant. Okay, it's spelled different too. Okay, it's not how you spell relevant. It's missing the E. So just VNT instead of VENT. Okay. But there it is. Boom, Counterpunch Boxing News. That guy with that ugly mug right there. There we go. Okay. AJ is pretty good. He's kind of weak mentality. Well, you know, I think things bother him that shouldn't bother fighters. You know what I mean? Let's not forget they stopped the fight 7 seconds early and AJ was leaning against the ropes, a battered man. Yeah, that's right. I mean, he did press the gas. Usyk pressed the gas on that ass. Bars. Skrilla 50. If Brazil was in Brazil, he would be saying Brazilian residents, trouble is upon you. You're going to be in trouble. You're going to be in trouble. Anyone remember when Ben and Eubank signed a deal on Sportlight? I don't. DJ Emo, evening Kurt, evening CP crew. Hope all is well with you. DJ Emo, counterpunch to you, brother. I think Tyson Fury is stronger than the rest of them mentally. You know what? Him or Usyk are probably the strongest, more than likely. Andy Ruiz versus Hasim Rahim, or is that Rahman? That would be pretty good, you know. But Andy, man, Andy is just selectively picking fighters. You know, that's what you see. But that's what happens. You know, it happened to Miguel Cotto. It happened to Canelo Alvarez. It happened to Triple G. When those guys fought, those premier guys, they all of a sudden became sedity. Facts. They became sedity. They became to the point where I'm not fighting that person. Mm-hmm. Not him. Nah, I don't want him. Right? Kel Solomon is definitely on the Colombian marching powder. Oh, Lee Foster, thanks, can't wait. Why does everyone say AJ is chinny? He's been down less times than Fury. Ooh, Jackie Boy Johnson coming in with that counter punch. What? Rahman. Well, I mean, but Andy ain't going to take a fight with Hasim Rahman Jr. That's beneath him now. Wilder won't give it all anymore because he knows there is a fighter above him in his mind, Tyson Fury. Chris Roberts, if he does go back in the ring, and you see the lack of tenacity, he needs to retire because there's no need for him to half step when it comes to the sport of boxing just because he didn't beat one guy. Especially when he got all those props from getting knocked out by that one guy. Okay? Keep up the good work, Kurt, my friend. Owen Bradley in the building. Counterpunch to you, brother. Lee Foster, I always liked Nigel Benn. Yeah, he was a beast. Renee Padilla. Salute, Kurt. Jesus Christ coming soon. Start stacking up on food and get that 100 before we hit this economic collapse. Look, God bless you, Renee. And if that happens, we're going to be just like we were in 2020. We're going to be right here, botched in, you know what I mean? And still counterpunching and getting it in. Bars. Appreciate the love, brother. You working out, brother? Yeah, a little bit. I got my dumbbells out here, a little 20-pound. No big deal, just working the curves. You know, we're working to getting those guns right, getting those guns ready, you know? Trying not to be soft. Fury recovers better than Joshua. Now that's true. Fury does have a fast recovery rate. He got hit by Wilder that last fight. But understand something. When he got hit, that one punch took him down twice. It was almost that one punch was like an ant bite. You know how an ant bites you, and then you knock him off or thump him or whatever you do, and then you feel that sting again. That's what Wilder did. That's what his punch did to Fury's face. He hit Fury, and Fury went down. He started bobbling, he went down, and then he gets up. And then Wilder don't really hit him again flush. He just takes another dive. He does that because he needs more time to survive. Bars. And I'm on fire tonight. I don't know what's going on, man. Maybe my dad's calling me, saying, rumble, young man, rumble. You are a son of Muhammad Ali. You are mighty. You are man and fastest man on 2 feet. You're the fastest man that can't be beat. You are one of my seed. You my seed? Yes, indeed. Bars. I listened to Lennox Lewis saying when boxer becomes a professional boxer, he needs to empty his glass and then start to refill it. AJ needs to empty his glass and starts to fill it up again. Diego C. Palace, I think he does need to. I think he needs to forget what he learned from McCracken and only pay attention to what he's being learned and taught now. Throw all that other shit out of the window. Because I think Robert Garcia is brought in to specifically train Anthony Joshua for this particular fight. Now, if he beats him, he might bring him along. He might not. He just knows, and Robert knows that, hey, I'm here to train Anthony Joshua to get these belts back. That's what I'm here to do. Just listen to an interview with Ben Davison. He said Fury is very bipolar, and he has extreme highs just as extreme lows. Wouldn't say he's strong-minded, but Fury during one of those highs is. Love to see Wilder have a big fight over here. That would be big. I would love it to be with Anthony Joshua. Fury got hit out upside the head by Bomb Z Squad. AJ would have been still on the floor convulsing. Damn. Fury's problems are out of the ring. Anthony Von Wick. CP Kurt. CP to you, Anthony. 53 likes. Let's get 100 likes. Let's go. Hit that like button. Icy wound. Because I'm going to be on about 3 more minutes. Kirk will continue to counterpunch from his Mad Max shelter. Absolutely. Absolutely. All I need is Wi-Fi. All I need is service of any kind. I will be counterpunching. Bryce Productions. What's your 5 favorite boxers? Mine are the YouTube boxers, which is DG, KSI, Jake Paul, Gibb, and Logan Paul. But my top favorite traditional boxers are Floyd, Mike Tyson, Fury, Joshua, and Wilder. Not bad, Bryce. Not bad at all. Those also deemed to be the most popular. Okay. James West, blessed by the best. Once again, you didn't have to, but you did it again. Let's get it in. Bars. I was surprised to see Jay Miller boxing the way he was boxing without the drugs. TV knowledge. I will say that too. Great counterpunch. I was glad to see that because it also shows, though, that he didn't need the shit in the first place. Okay? He just needed to work out, believe in himself, instead of believing in substances that makes himself do better. You know, I think honestly he had a very bad drug problem. And you know, you don't like it's people addicted to performance enhancing drugs. The idea of them needing this shit to perform a certain way. It's somewhere in the brain somewhere. It all starts here. Okay, and I think If he needed that much, and just because he got caught again, he had a problem. And no, I don't believe that's the first time he took that shit or the second. I think he's been doing that shit. I think he thought that, hey, I need to regulate my weight with this weight cutting shit that I was taking, and it's illegal, you know. But to be fair, though, a lot of that stuff that is illegal now wasn't illegal 10 years ago. It just hit that either banned substance or whatever, that ban list, you know. So a lot of that shit actually hurt you than helped you in the long run. Okay? Can you do an impression of Chris Eubank Sr.? Jackie Boy Johnson. Chris, I think you should go to the body. I think you should go to the body. Use the jab. Believe in yourself. Use your angles like you know. And get this fight in the bag. What do you think? Chris Eubank Sr. is such a fucking all high and mighty cat, man. He's definitely he's definitely that guy. Lee Foster, you're on fire tonight. I am, dude. You know, I'm on fire. Jim Ram, what's up, Counterpunch? What's up to you? Counterpunch to you. Kenny B, Fury does have fast recovery, but has been dropped by one puncher a couple times. He does, and he can be dropped. That means he can be hurt. That means he can be beat. Counterpunch. Fury clearly doesn't want to face Usyk. Well, we'll see. If Usyk beats Joshua, then that opportunity will be slapping him in the face. Wilder would comfortably sleep Joshua. Wilder would comfortably sleep anybody except Tyson Fury. Owen Bradley. Cheers, Kurt, my friend. Cheers to you, Owen. Kurt, I heard Peter Fury saying there should be only one man in your corner, and AJ has two. Do you agree? Yep. I think that's confusing. If they're not saying the same shit, that's confusing. If they are saying the same shit, why do both guys have to be there? I think in between rounds, I think you need one guy telling AJ what he needs to do. You know what I mean? I think that happened with Dillian White also. I got a good video coming on about Dillian White here in a second. But yeah, I think it was just confusing. I think, you know, you got a guy over the shoulder, then you got this guy in front of you, and then another guy talking shit at you, then you're looking, you're listening to the guy in the back, you're trying to pay attention to these guys. That's too confusing. Let's keep it simple. Counterpunch. James West, member for 10 months. Counterpunch Silver. Counterpunch to you. Appreciate you, James West, for staying loyal. We need more guys like James West, because James West is blessed by the best. Bars. So it's possible to like Joshua and Wilder. It is. It's possible to like them both. That's what I've been trying to tell you. You know? I mean, once upon a time it wasn't, though. You gotta like, if you like Joshua, you can't like Deontay Wilder. Just the same. You couldn't like Manny Pacquiao, and you couldn't like Floyd Mayweather. You had to like one or the other. You better pick a side. You better pick East versus West, North versus South. If Andy loses again, there should be a Kaunaki versus Ruiz. You know what? I don't think Kaunaki needs a fight like Andy Ruiz, because Andy Ruiz will probably beat Kaunaki. And I think Kaunaki needs a fight to go out winning. So he won't have any faults. He can go out with that gratitude and that mental sense of accomplishment that, hey, I won this fight. Now let's get the hell out of Dodge. You need more of a lisp. Yeah. Kurt, say, I'm not a boxer. I'm a businessman when doing Eubank. No, I'm a boxer and I'm a businessman. You see, prize fighting is a part of business. That's what it is. It's a part of business. You're just using your brutality to make this work. But it's about business, because it's about money. You can't eat gratitude. You can't eat it. Respect to you, brother. Brixton, London, UK. What's your take on Don King not paying Dubois? Paul, let me read the article and I'll counterpunch it. Because I just found out on this live chat, so I don't really know. Why is Wilder still ranked #1? Man, Jackie Boy Johnson. I did a video on it. Maybe was it today or yesterday? Yeah, check it out. Check it out, brother. Counterpunch. Do you believe that Usyk can unify the heavyweight division? Yeah, I think he can. And if he can't, he'll try his best. You know what I mean? At least nothing's wrong with trying, right? Is it right Dillian White has been offered some fights? He should. I try to be loyal, but my gym is like a meat market nowadays. Kurt, do you think Lennox Lewis retired early? Well, here's the thing about Lennox Lewis, people. Lennox Lewis said that was going to be his last fight. And he did at least stuck to his word. Now, it wasn't the best thing to do to go out like he went out in a fight that ended the way it ended. But he did, in his own, to be fair about Lennox Lewis, to his credit, he said that was going to be his last fight. And it was. Could he have fought longer? Of course he could have. Lennox Lewis, I don't think had any bad habits. He probably got some now. But I haven't known him to have any bad habits then. He didn't, he wasn't known outside the ring to be high, drunk, or be surrendered, or anything like that. Right? So, yeah, he could have fought a couple more years at least. Shit, you know what I mean? And then here's the thing. He should have fought Vladimir Klitschko. That would have been, look, Lennox Lewis, he already beat Mike Tyson. He beat Holyfield. He got the decision over Vitali. He could have then fought Vladimir. That would have been some bullshit. Fought both Klitschko's and pretty much wiped out the people that would fight you because Riddick Bowe never fought Lennox Lewis. Okay, he threw that shit in the trash. He's like, I ain't fighting Lennox Lewis. I'm getting rid of this damn belt. I've made my money. Right? My name is Chris Eubank, and I'm the best boxer in Britain. Lennox Lewis done all he needed to do. Yeah, I mean, leave him be. Counterpunch, what do you think that would be the strategy of Usyk in the rematch? Way more aggressive. Way more aggressive. I see Usyk being very aggressive, and I think, because see, here's the thing. Man, I'm going to love this breakdown. Yeah, let's hit that like button. But Usyk has done, he knows how to beat Anthony Joshua one way. But it's almost to me that Usyk has promised us that he's going to fight in a different way. Based on the promise that Anthony Joshua said that he's going to fight in a different way. So by default, Usyk has to fight in a different way. Or does he? That is the question. Great to see nowadays Lennox Lewis mentoring, and helping out young boxers in Jamaica. Yeah? Got to go. Great stream, Kurt, buddy. Got to keep it up. Keep it up. Good night, man. Kenny B, appreciate you guys. This is the last one. I feel Usyk has his number. He will slow play early to see AJ's adjustments, then destroy him. He is twice the boxer and 3 times the tactician. Let me counterpunch. St. Don. Or I'm sorry, DJ Emo. I think Usyk holds his own strategies. It's very magnificent to have someone with a David Goggins type mindset. Like, I'm going to mentally outwork you. The mentality is brilliant. You can see. You can tell from his face that he ain't just had a cakewalk, but you can tell how mental it had to come from his mentality, his belief that he was stronger, better. He took more. He took those hard, big-ass punches. Okay? The same guy that knocked out Pulev is the same guy that punched Alexander Usyk in the face as well. But Alexander Usyk didn't go anywhere, right? So, Usyk's a tactician, but here's the thing. What degree is he a tactician? Okay? His tactics that elite? At what level? How far does that expand? Hopefully we'll see if he beats Joshua. And maybe we won't even see it then. Because if he does wipe out Joshua, everybody's going to be like, okay. But interesting, great live chat, guys. God bless all of you. Appreciate the love. And everyone has been Counterpunched. Peace.